So, hey everyone, welcome to Small Farm Living. Today we're just going to jump right into the first trash to treasure craft. This I found at an estate sale. It was in a potting shed on the floor. The floor was damp, it was just dirt, and it was so rusty, and the lid would not come off. I managed to get a little WD-40 into there and let it soak for a while and got the lid pried off, and it was full of rocks, kind of decorative style rock, but they were just going to throw this away, and they had it just listed as anything was free that was in this pile. So I decided I needed to save it. So I soaked it in some hot soapy water and took my non-abrasive scouring pad and washed it a few times just to scrub off as much of that dust and dirt and grime and all the crap that had been just growing on this thing for who knows how long. And it was looking pretty good. Of course, when it's wet, everything is a little darker. But I just worked on this, probably for a good 30 minutes or so in between this step. And now that I have it done, as far as getting all the dirt off of it, I am going to do the second part of this step, which is neutralizing the rust. And if you did not know, which I didn't, but my husband, he just knows some things. And he said, if you use vinegar water, vinegar neutralizes rust. So I am soaking this in hot vinegar water and I let it sit for about a half an hour. And when it was all done, I dried it really well, and you can see the pattern. I mean, it's the rim is really rusty and the lid doesn't go on very well at all. And so I kind of thought maybe I would take my little finger sander here and sand off as much of the rust as I possibly could. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be able to put the lid back on here, because when I had to pry it off, it did damage the shape of it just a little bit. But you can see already with this low grit sandpaper, you can already see the metal coming back to life. I'm not going to leave it like that, because once it's already had rust started on it, it probably will just proceed to do that. So I'm going to take some of this old gold spray paint that I've had in my stash for I don't know how long. I bought this candle holder at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to adhere the two together. But I want to sand the bottom and paint both the top and bottom rims just to give it a little more flair, kind of hide a little bit of that rust. I don't mind a little bit of rustiness, but you can see I took it outside. I taped off the center design with some of my husband's painter's tape. And as I'm pulling it off, you can see I now kind of have a nice matte gold finish on the top rim and on the bottom. And I have that pretty old design of this tin left in the center. And I think they kind of complement each other pretty well. And you can see that I did also paint the stand. Now I'm going to take some of my E6000, and I was like, oh, I think I better flip this over, because the actual top of the candlestick has a little divot down in it, and I wanted as flat a surface as possible to glue these two together. So I just stuck a real generous layer of this E6000 all over the top of the candlestick, or I guess it's actually the base, but it's my top now. And I am going to put the two together and give it a light little press down there so I'm sure that there's full contact. And then I'm just going to set this aside and let this dry overnight so that I make sure that it's good and secure. And here's what it looked like the next day. I just put some of my flower cuttings that I have in my windowsill in here just to show you. I tried to put glue sticks in here, but I didn't have enough for the full effect. But I was pretty pleased with how well this turned out, and I just think it's so fun. I love old tins and the old designs that they put on them. Now this is the back side. It's not quite as pretty, but you can still see the design once we got it all cleaned up. So let me know, have you ever saved an old tin like this from the trash, and what did you do with it? I think I'm going to have fun with this piece. So before we move on to craft number 2, I just want to say, hey, my name is Julie, and I have had a lot of new subscribers and a lot of people watching my videos lately, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that so much. But I just wanted to give you a real quick little backstory on my channel. Started as doing gardening videos, and I found that more people enjoyed the crafting videos than the gardening videos. Go figure, which makes my life a little bit easier, because filming out in the garden is really, really hard. You have to move the camera so many times. And I just wanted to show you kind of what I do when I'm not crafting. This is the very first garden area that we created, about 18 years ago when we first moved into this place. Up here, I do have a lot of tomatoes and peppers and herbs and all kinds of things. These are some of my fruit trees. They're dwarfs. This pear doesn't do much, but This is just kind of panning over. You can see my greenhouses right there, and little daisies. I have a love-hate relationship with these because they spread like crazy, but they're pretty. But here is my, these plants are called valerian. They're gorgeous, by the way, and they smell delicious. But this little flatbed trailer, my husband let me borrow it, and we are putting all the plants that I'm currently trying to sell, which I've only been open one weekend so far, and I don't have a whole lot left, but I'm going to open again this weekend, and I just haul these down to where the farm stand is being built. These are some of my raised beds on the way. Now, this is what I call phase one. It is my growing field. I do have black plastic. Some people hate it. In my zone, it's awesome, keeps the weeds from growing. This is Cerinthe or honeywort, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. These are straw flowers. They're closed because it's early morning, but they'll be in their full glory by the time the sun warms them up. This is bunny tail grass, and the little kind of dusty pink flowers, that is stock. And I think throughout the growing year, I may just do one video a month, just kind of giving you garden updates, showing you what's going on, what's blooming, maybe some flower arrangements that I'm doing. Because like I say, it takes so much work to make these videos, but I don't have a whole lot of viewers on the gardening side, more on the crafting side, but I just wanted to show all my crafting friends what I do on a daily basis. So if you see dirty hands, this is why. We had to put up an extra little fence here because there are a couple of rabbits that just randomly showed up in the briar patch across from our lower driveway. Bunch of peppers. Now, a lot of the produce and flowers that I grow, I sell. I'll be selling at my farm stand once we get them open. Before my daughter got cancer, I was selling to a local grocery store, and that was going really well. But I'm kind of starting over from scratch, just kind of getting everything back up and going now that she has come through that very well. This is the field that really suffered the most while she was having her treatments, and I just kind of let everything go and focused on her. But I've got some corn planted, and these are sunflowers going in here, and I'll just have to work on weeding the rest of it because I do have rows with some perennials in there as well. I just want to let you listen to the birds. And this is early morning, just a little woodsy section that we have. And then we are going to head down towards the barn that you see right there. So I can show you, this is where my farm stand lives. It's down by our lower driveway. And again, it's just being built. There is one of my daughter's horses. This is April. She knows I don't have snacks, so she's not real excited about coming out. She's a little stinker. She's only a year old, so she's just getting going. And this is Star. This is her older horse. She had some kind of a disease in one of her eyes and had to have it removed. So she has one eye left that has a cataract, and she's very old, but she is a sweetheart. So the other horse kind of helps her see. So this is a little fun element we have on the farm. But yeah, this is what I do. If you like gardening things, just know that I probably will put maybe one video out per month again, just with kind of gardening updates, showing you flowers. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to address those in that video as well. These are foxgloves. I just love how tall they get, and their little speckled throats, and the bumblebees when they are out and about and trying to crawl up inside there. It's so much fun. And this is a clematis that was my grandmother's. She's no longer with us, of course, because of my age. She would be really old, but I just treasure that. And I love the little happy faces of pansies. But let's get back into crafting. That's what you're here for. All right, so for the last craft that we're going to do today, this is a cutoff of a piece of board from a project. You can see it has a rough cut end there. It was just going to go in the garbage. And all these little miscellaneous pieces that you see here in the bags, when I did a previous video, I showed you that I got some ABCs and 1, 2, 3s at the thrift store, a whole bunch of them, and all the little pieces that you had to pop out of the alphabet letters and the zeros on the numbers. I thought these would make perfect pieces to craft some little flowers with, and who knows what else with all the other shapes, but I thought I'd hang on to them. So first, let's cover up this rough cut end with some of my antique Waverly wax. Thankfully, the board is pretty dark, so all I had to do is put a little dab on my paper towel and wipe it on there, and I didn't even have to worry about rubbing any excess off. It was dark enough to where it just matched. And this is already painted. Now this end, I really didn't need to wipe anything on there, but I did just for good measure. So here is where, the crafter, oh gosh, kind of kicks in because I thought I was going to take some of my tacky glue and brush it on the back of each one of these little pieces for the petals and then lay them down and do it because I would have flexibility in moving the petals around if I didn't quite like where they were. Now, I think it's because I'm in full garden mode right now and I spend most of my time outside and I come inside to take a break and cool off and try to do some crafting that my brain just wasn't thinking right because I was like, if I just lay out my design like this first, then I don't have to worry about using the hot glue gun because I don't need to worry about moving them around. So that is what I did. I just laid out how I wanted my little flower to look. This one is kind of like the half view of a flower. Now, I've seen little pictures like this before on Pinterest and I thought they looked really cute. So when I found all these little pieces, I knew exactly what I was going to make. These little pieces here I thought would be really cute, looking like the little leaves at the base of the flower. But all I'm going to do is just lay out my pattern for everything that I'm doing and then glue them down. So there I have the base of a flower. Now this little piece right here, you see how the top is round mostly? And this little piece is tiny. And the next flower that I wanted to make was going to be rather large. And I kind of had a feeling that this little tiny dot in the center just wasn't going to cut it. So in doing the flowers, I found that if you do side to side and match up the petals, it makes for a much better design on your flower. Now I'm going to have to pull these backwards a little bit because I wanted to also insert some of these cute little skinnier pieces. And so I'm just going to work on adjusting the flower petals by pulling them back until I have it just the way I want. And I did fiddle this with this for quite a while. I just cut most of that out so I didn't bore you. And then I'm going to attempt, which was a fail, to cut that out and make a complete circle. But one end was a little bit flat. I'm like, that's okay. We're going with it. It's just going to face down on the flower. I glued that in and then I just proceeded to glue all the little petals around the center. And there we have it. That one's all glued. And I'm just going to repeat this process. Down here on this side, I'm going to do the same thing with these three pieces and make the base of another flower. And my look was to kind of make this one sideways a little bit more, but this is where the hot glue got me. It adhered before I got it looking exactly the way I wanted it to, but all in all, whatever. It's just crafting. It's just for having fun. So I'm just going to lay out my last two little flowers designs that I'm going to do, get those glued into place. And I had thought originally about painting these pieces first, but I thought the colors on these cutouts were actually really sweet, so I just left them how they were. Now here is another thing that normally gets thrown out when I just use the top of the fake flowers. A lot of times the stem portions just get thrown away, and I tend to save some just in case I need them for a project like this. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where I want the stems to be. Now I took some of these ferns and I cut off some pieces thinking I would use them as leaves, but I didn't like the color or the way they ended up looking, so I just scrapped that. And then I took these and put some glue on them and just kind of put them down towards the base of the plant so it looked like they were attached. And true crafter form, dropped it on the table, it dried hard, had to clean it off and start over. But this is what it ended up looking like. So let me know what you think of this. It would have absolutely all of it just been in the trash had I not saved it. And I was able to create just a cute little floral design out of this. And again, let me know, do you like the colors of the cutouts or would you have painted it? So here is a recap of the little canister that we saved from the trash. And then again, the flower design that we just made. So I just want to thank you so much for hanging out with me, watching my videos, subscribing. It really means the world to me. I have a ton of fun doing this. I love reading your comments. So thank you again so much for hanging out, and I will see you next time.